谢拜达 DJ 第7
Steve Aoki 给云顶之弈 remix 这首 BGM 的歌。
当然，这种情况的话，我要来就打分一下这几首歌，你们也来打分一下。我还花了225块钱找了一个人补正一下，加一点中文的元素，然后你们来说一下到底哪一个更好听一些呢？好，废话不多说。
大家好，我是 Joe Creator. My good friend Sander, you have requested me again to take a look at something music related, which I'm really excited for because it's TFT. If you know, then you know I play this on stream occasionally. I really like the game. So there's a new set coming out and it's revolving around music, seemingly perfect for me to take a look into, delve into some details.
真的感觉Joe的中文越来越进步。
And it is important to note that this music is playing while you're playing the game, while you're trying to think, calculate, do all of this stuff. So it can't be too in your face. It needs to be that background music vibe, but it must capture, in my opinion, everything to do with the genre, with the music group that it's trying to encapsulate.
我们都还没有开始听，他都已经分析了那么细了。OK， 废话不多说，他就说了啊 ，BGM 很重要，帮你翻译了。
五杀乐队 or Pentakill. Also, Pentakill are a metal band. They have champions in like Karthus. They have Yorick in there. There's Kale. There's Sona with this skin line. So I'm going to take reference from the released music already and make sure that those elements are captured within TFT when you're putting these traits on the board. So Pentakill takes that 70s metal aesthetic and listening to Mortal Reminder here. So it's sort of a bit more of a modern take on Iron Maiden or something like that, with Karthus' singing, the way that the guitars are. You have these guitar riffs. You have strong double bass in there. But you also have these string synths in there. It's more like symphonic metal. That comes from Sona. And then, of course, you also have... You have like the guitar solo. Oh my god, I didn't mean to pause there because this is the best bit of the video. And you bring that all together and you have this like real metal aesthetic to it. Okay, so that's what I'm listening out for. Let's get the traits on the board and listen to what it sounds like. Okay, so we have that slower, more melodic feel. There's the double bass drum.
这太专业了吧
We have pinch harmonics. Hear that fantasy like choir chorus in the background. Not strings, but it's still that synth element.
唉，就不去当这个游戏的设计师，真的是太可惜了。他居然还猜出来这一个设计师的用意是啥呢？我推荐这个游戏以后去找Joe官方，你一定要看到这一个哦，100%不会后悔的。
There it is. Ooh, I like that. Okay, and then we have the guitar solo coming in. Okay, that pretty much takes everything off of my list, actually.
你看他多激动啊！你听 BGM 会这么激动吗？
Really good. It's energetic, it's powerful. I feel like it pumps you up. The Pentakill music here, 8 out of 10. Okay, next up we have KDA, which is an interesting one. I feel like KDA is the most popular like music group from the League of Legends universe. So what I'm really listening for is those synth elements, those modern digital style synth elements that we hear a lot from KDA. Hear the saw synths here. A few little wubs in there and stuff like that. A little bit of that style and a little bit of trap as well. Have that slightly like metallic snare sound in there. You have this very sort of low-key part here. Background of that without the lyrics over the top being like background music. So I wanted to hear that vibe, kind of like that badass girl power vibe, you know, with sort of more modern sounds than we heard from the last one. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's that like slight melody introduction. It has those modern sounding synthesizers, like I said, which is good. has that trap style, more complex like drum rhythm in there. And you want it to feel like you have the characters on stage just ready to perform, which I think this does a good job of. I feel like it doesn't have as much energy to it as the Pentakill one. It's a lot more chilled out, it's a lot more relaxed, so it does its job pretty well. I'm going to give this one 7 out of 10. Okay, moving on to 直视 Shanghai. And this is definitely
等一下，你们给多少分？
edgier side of things. You have rapping in there, you have Echo doing it, you have Yasuo as a DJ, you have s10的 in there, bringing in these more gospel-style vocals, I guess you could call it. So you have that more hip-hop atmosphere to everything. If you listen to the rhythm it's going on, you have this hip-hop style rhythm.
Got the whole crew with me, about to do damage. You know we ain't average. I ain't gonna say this again, but it's in my time. Better look in my eyes. I'm a genius in the skies with my heart on my sleeve. You force to oblige to a king in his prime.
So here, I want it to be differentiated from KDA quite a bit, having more of a edgy atmosphere to it, having a little bit more attitude to it as well. Slight variation on that as well in the chorus. Okay, but we definitely have that more like hip-hop, tight snare to it. We still have sprinkly hi-hats in there, but you can hear that the synthesizers are slightly different. They're a lot more bass-heavy to give that hip-hop feel. So let's listen and see if this follows that aesthetic. You can tell they've tried to add vocal-esque ideas into this part. It definitely has that more minory feel, that edgier feel to it. And then you can see it has like that sort of record scratch type thing you heard right at the end there, which gives it that DJ Yasuo vibes to it. I feel like this is the hardest one to pull off. It really has that edgy atmosphere to it. We want to feel a little bit badass, like we're not messing around. We're actually going to deal some true damage. I do feel like this is the hardest one to pull off out of the bunch, so I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10 just behind the KDA song. Just behind the KDA song. Okay, finally, Sander, you've asked me to listen to some Heartsteel. This is the newest boy group that has come out of Riot Games music.
我听说里面都是帅哥哦。
Me, with my slightly more limited knowledge of boy bands, I wouldn't say that it's my favorite, but they really nail the aesthetic with the characters here and the skins and everything. And I feel like they're similar to KDA, but have that more masculine tone to the way that they do everything. So you can hear there, they still use those modern digital synths, similar to KDA, but I think they're a little bit more aggressive, even further in terms of the drums, that very metallic, trap-sounding snare in there in this song. You can hear very boy band-esque in the background vocals. Let's see how if they can differentiate it enough from the KDA to have those elements that I've picked out. Here we go. So it definitely has that 808 feel. It has a very different feel to it from the KDA stuff. Very more masculine. Okay, so the only thing I haven't heard so far is that sort of boy band-esque style that I want to hear. So close to being what I want it to be.
Oh, not good enough for Joe. Not good enough for Joe.
Almost, we had that more light-hearted section there, but it just didn't quite deliver to that boy band feel to me. But this one is on the same level. It gets a 7 out of 10. So there's one last music file in here that's not labeled. Sander just says, listen to the mix.
看看你们也能不能猜到哦。
Hang on. So we have some synthesizers in the background, like modern sounding synthesizers. We have a guitar solo in the front. So fast. It sounds so familiar. Okay. I've got it. It's familiar sounding. I've just said it's got modern sounding synthesizers and a guitar solo. So that must mean that the guitar solo definitely comes from Pentakill.
Yeah.
Modern sounding synthesizers, they're like kind of warm sounding as well. So it must be KDA. And they're mashed up together. And the one thing that I've seen in the client is right at the top here of this map is you have DJ Sona at the top. And what do DJs do? They create mashups, right? So this must be DJ Sona, KDA, and Pentakill all mashed together.
就连这个都能听出来，我们都是为什么他的耳朵都能听出来？这是我还专门选择有3支乐队去做这一个 remix， 里面有五杀和 KDA， 还有那个 DJ 唢呐，这都被就猜出来了。你们呢？你们听出来的吗？
This bit that you showed me, with all the context surrounding it, after listening to the last stuff, that gets the most points at 9 out of 10, definitely. Sanders also left me this little Easter egg. Somebody playing Guzhong on Guyongju.
所以这个古筝我还花了225块钱去找人去把这一个弹出来的。
因为游戏中进这个角色给我印象太深了，他竟然会在放技能的时候用小提琴演出孤勇者。
你们给多少分？记得跟我说，知不知道？
Okay. Oh, it sounds so elegant. I like that this player has actually sort of added her own part to the song on the Guzhong, not just playing the melody or whatever. She's just got this little melody going on at the start of the song, and then it sits on that final note for the lyrics to come in. It's got a little hint of creativity in there from the Guzhong player here. So you've done pretty well getting hold of that, Sander. But it makes me hungry for a little bit more, you know. Asking my opinion on this stuff, I hope that everything that I said makes sense. If you disagree with it, let me know. If you agree with it, let me know. I like to hear everybody's discussions around this sort of stuff. And I'll see everybody in the next one. 谢谢大家，再见。
我是没想到游戏跟婚姻有这种的一个作品的，我感觉是完全2个不同的世界混在一起，是完美的一个集合，而且也是我一个从来没有见过的一个创意。所以呢，我只能给这些 BGM 满分。你们呢？你们最喜欢的游戏 BGM 是什么？来评论区跟我说。好了，视频就拍到这里了，下次再见，拜拜。